Pizza delivery drivers of Reddit. What was the most fucked up place you've ever stopped at? I once delivered to a guy living under his porch, if that counts. I drove up to the house. It's pitch black, no lights on. I look at the ticket and it says, use back door. I go up the steps saying no lights on. Nothing. Then I hear a voice from below me say, hey, down here. I look under the porch and there's a small door leading into what looked like a makeshift apartment. I had to actually crouch to get to it. Gave the guy the pizza and bounced the fuck out of there. This reminds me of a delivery I took once. In the special instructions on the receipt it said, watch out for Mexicans under the porch. There were no Mexicans. There wasn't even a porch. The damn Mexicans took the porch. I worked as a delivery driver for a very small Italian restaurant pizzeria during my first semester of college. This one time I delivered pizza to a swingers party. It wasn't like on the set of a porno or anything. He straight up told me when I was like, having a party? Because he ordered 12 pizzas. He answered that this was his first swingers party and he just wanted to be sure everyone was having a good time. This is actually wholesome. Asterisk wholesome. Asterisk. Someone ordered pizzas to a funeral. There were a ton of people there, all somber and dressed in black, while I rolled up in my bright red greasy cheese shirt. Lol. Definitely one of the most awkward experiences I've had. Grandma always loved Domino's. You just reminded me my husband delivered to an older woman who ended up dying during the time it took for him to get there after she placed the call. Approximately 20 minutes. He said he showed up as they were loading her up into an ambulance. I think, in that the family was standing around watching and he didn't know what to do, so he gave it to one of the family members, who paid for it, and left. Haha, this is great. So sorry for your loss. Monsieur. So who is paying for the pizza now? Stay around for the reading of the will. 1 hour later. And to the person who delivered pizza to my funeral party, I bequeath 30 million United States dollars. I did end up delivering the pizza, but the address was an abandoned house. It was around dusk and the house was so obviously uninhabited. I could see trees growing through the windows and the backside of the house was crumbling so badly. I could see to the backyard from the street. The instructions were to come around back. I double-checked the address after locking my doors, called the customer a couple of times, called the store and told them what was up and why I wasn't delivering the pizza, and headed out. I mean, seriously, who would have been dumb enough to go to the back of that house? The neighborhood crack house is blacklisted from every pizza place in my city because drivers would get robbed on every delivery to that address. Pizza here for icy wiener. Quote, thanks for the silver. S. Kind stranger. S. Also, my top-rated comment is now about wieners. So, yay? Oh crud. IDK, if this counts, is fucked up, but it always makes me laugh when I think back to it. I delivered pizza to a house where an older guy walks out in a robe, sorta mumbling. I hand him the food, he hands me a 20. I tell him it's 24. He mumbles okay and waddles back into the house. Comes back and hands me another 20. I go to my pocket to get change and he slams the door on me. I also once delivered to an older woman who tells me to come in the side door. The food is about $34 and she hands me what I think is 40 and is really sweet, asking me how I'm doing and all that. I get back into my car and realize it's actually $60 and 2 of the 20s were sorta stuck together. I go back into her house to let her know and she says, so I know. It's for gas and whatever else you might need. I always remember that lady because it was just such a random nice thing to do and really made my day. One time someone asked what the most I've been tipped is. I said $20. They then gave me $25. I was delivering chicken, KFC, not pizza, but my worst stop was pathetic. Really. I knock on the door. I hear a kid yell, I got it? He opens the door and runs up the stairs yelling to his friends, the chicken assholes here. The chicken assholes here. Quote, after which a crowd of about 8 preteens at the top of the stairs start throwing change down the stairs at me to pay for the delivery. I asked if they could hand me the money. They laugh and just throw the quarters, dimes, etc. harder. So I picked up the bag of food, winged it up the stairs at them. It hit the wall, and I split. Told the boss what happened, and if they call to complain I listen or apologize. I'll just quit if he brings it up. I found out later he did get a call and told them to get stuffed. Good boss. Flinging the chicken at them must have been satisfying as hell. Edit. Apparently this needs to be said at the beginning. I'm a girl. I was a delivery driver and was working a morning shift. Around 10:30 a.m. I got a delivery to an apartment. Everything seems legit since it's daytime and there are lots of people close by. I knocked on the door and after 30 seconds or so the door opened a few inches and the guy was behind the door, so I only saw his face. Still didn't think it was weird because people do that when they're trying to restrain a dog. He asked me to put the pizza on the stove behind him, and he moved back so I could see it was right behind. Hi monsieur, I hesitated a second and decided not to do it. Told him I can't enter homes but I don't mind waiting until he's ready to take the pizza. He asked again, said, it's right there, so I gave the same answer. Really apologetic, but something wasn't feeling right. I realized later it was how quiet it was. Didn't sound like there was an excited dog back there. So he opened the door wide open and was completely naked. And this guy was at least 60 years old and like 6 feet tall. I tried to hand him the pizza and gave him the total, averting my eyes the whole time. He wouldn't give me the money. He kept asking me to repeat the total and moved into my line of vision. I just took a step back and looked straight up. Eventually he gave me $25 in IGTFO. Told everyone at the store. And for an $8 tip and a chance to deck the guy, all the boys that worked there hoped he would order again. The next day, he did. When the driver got back, he said he had to wait at least 2 minutes, and when the guy answered he was only wearing sweatpants. So he was sure he would do it again to a girl driver. So the guy got blacklisted. Very good chance you would have been dilled that day. I delivered to a drug house a few times. It was always obvious that these guys were selling, using, but it never bothered me as they usually tipped well. This one time I got there, rang the bell, and a baggie of, I'm guessing coke or heroin, I have no idea, slipped under the door. Not sure what to do, I decided to kick it back under the door and leave. Not super fucked up, but I think about it a lot. Same thing nearly. Known drug house. I knock on the door and they hear ruckus on the other side. A voice can be heard saying, chill, it's just the pizza guy. Quote, door opens and dudes are cutting up the powdered stuff and putting in baggies for distribution in. They don't care that I can see with drugs and guns in full view. They tipped a quarter and said I forgot their soda. So I had to go back and get it. They never ordered a soda. They pulled that every time to get free stuff and coupons from the manager. Yeah, that house got raided eventually. These guys don't know how to run a trap house. Pay your pizza guys well, or they'll rat your ass out to the cops hella fast. Yeah, seriously. Minimum wage workers don't give a fuck what you do as long as they get paid. And if they don't get paid, is it seriously worth the trouble? For real. All that cash they got, and they couldn't give the pizza guy 20 bucks. Shit, not even 20 bucks. Round it up and don't be a dick, and we're chill in my book. Any toppings? Just sprinkle some crack on it. That reference to Dave Chappelle has made you a certified genius. I'm copying from a post I made over on our Tales from the Pizza Guy. So I apologize if my formatting is bad. But here's my pizza delivery story. One night I have a delivery to a pretty rural area. A lot of my deliveries are to rural areas, so no big deal. But tonight it's drizzling and especially dark, so I'm having trouble finding the address of the house I'm looking for. So I roll down the passenger window and use my really fucking bright flashlight pointing it at mailboxes, trees, posts, anything that somebody might have their address on at the end of their driveway. So I'm driving along at like 5 miles an hour, pointing my flashlight, when the beam catches a guy wearing a black hoodie at the end of an obviously long gravel road, staring directly at me. More of a glare at me, really, but whatever. Could just be on the phone or something. Then it gets weirder. I finally find the address I'm looking for and pull into the drive and hop out of the car. That's when I get the sinking feeling. No cars, no house light, boarded up windows. If you've ever been a delivery person, you know that this is the time to GTFO of there, because you're about to get robbed. Right as I'm about to jump in, throw the car into reverse and nope the fuck out of there, I see a man walking across the empty field adjacent to the property towards me. Fuck. Now I'm a pretty burly, bearded dude, so I don't worry a whole lot on deliveries. But this scared the shit out of me. When he gets closer, I see him very obviously tucking something into his waistband. What I can only assume was a gun. He then says in a thick, menacing southern accent, "I thought you was the law." I guess because of how I was scanning the addresses. I meekly point to my car topper and the pizza in my hand, and he says in the nicest voice you've ever heard, "Oh, great. Thank you so much. Have a great night," pays me, and proceeds to walk back through the open field, in the direction of no buildings, in the rain, with his pizza. For the rest of my shift I couldn't stop whispering, "What the fuck? Strangest thing that's ever happened to me." Edit. Thanks for the double silver, kind strangers. For those of you asking how much he tipped, this was a while ago so I don't remember exactly how much, but I think it was around $5, so pretty decent. Meth lab in the trees somewhere? Quite possible. Or moonshine. They still prosecute for that. I delivered subs, but one of our regular clients was an old lady in a nursing home who thought it was 1940s or something. She was super nice, but nobody would deliver to her because she would only tip you like 25 cents because again, she was living way in the past, but I loved to sit and talk with her, so I always volunteered to do it. The nurses would pay the tip if they saw me, but usually I only got a quarter. Her delusional state was heartbreaking. She was for the most part lucid aside from not realizing what year it was. She'd give me hair, makeup tips. Loved to talk about men, always told me stories about her husband, but seemed unsure of where he was because she never mentioned him dying or if he visits. Asterisk editing for those who seem to be convinced that either me or her is lying. She didn't pay for the food. She obviously had dementia. The nurses called the order in. We had the card info and we sent the order. If the delivery person did run into a nurse or find one to let them know the delivery was made, we didn't get a tip. She wasn't scamming us out of our tip. She was mentally unsound. The nurses even warned me upon meeting her that she will probably think she's way back in time and to find them for the tip. Usually I didn't run into them and I felt bad hunting one down to ask for money when the old lady thought she had already tipped me. I don't know what kind of world you live in, but in the real one, not everyone is out to get you. I was once tasked with installing a secure door on the Alzheimer's wing of a retirement home. There was a guy who kept coming up to me asking if I would buy his horse. Every day for a week he and I would dicker over the price. And every day he'd head off to fetch the horse, going further back into the facility. Sweet old man. Thankfully he was unaware that he was unaware. I like to imagine him rolling up to the door with a purebred stallion the day after you finished installation and left for good. This motherfucker haggled for my horse and left without it? For reference, 25 cents in 1940 would be a bit less than $5 today, and would have been a generous tip. Cost of living is much higher now. 2093. Asterisk. Can't believe this cheap fuck only tipped me $50. Asterisk. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.